Greetings YouTubers, today I have the Beretta ARX 160 from Elite Force. This one is the Elite model, which is equivalent, what they would call a pro-line gun. It has a nice nylon body, it is high impact, very durable. It's the same that they used in their G36 line of guns that were in their Elite line, their pro line. It has the same gearbox as the G36. It is version 3 modified to use a microswitch. It has some heat-treated gears in it as well, as opposed to just regular sintered steel gears. It also has a high-torque motor for a snappier trigger response and a higher rate of fire. We have some nice aluminum rails left and right, and on top here, the bolt cycles. It is a blowback gun. You can disable that if you so like, and it does lock back and press down here underneath the trigger guard to send it forward. What I've noticed is kind of weird on this is when you press that, the mag falls out, which I don't know if the real gun is like that, because I've never handled a real ARX 160, because it's an Italian army rifle, and what we get here is an ARX 100, and I haven't seen one of those either. So, rare gun, if you want something that's unique, hey, this is the thing. But it takes 10 mags. But that, like as I was saying, that's kind of weird. So say you're adjusting your hop up, and you got it how you want, and you want to close the bolt, which you can swap the handle either side. You press that, and then your mag falls out. So I would say keep a hand on your mag if you're, when you go to close that. But we also have two other mag releases, one right here, and one on the other side. Completely ambidextrous gun. The fire selector, ambidextrous, safe, semi, and full. We also have these ambidextrous sling loops, both sides. Don't know exactly what they use in the Italian army for that, but what I would do, take some paracord, make a little loop and single point it, but it's the way I like to roll. Also have flip up backup sights, 6 aperture settings in the back, and you can adjust the front for elevation, but it's Airsoft, so you wouldn't need to do that. This front gas block is aluminum, this outer barrel aluminum, this flash hider aluminum. Clockwise threading. It is it's pretty nice. It actually looks like the real one from the photos I saw online of the real flash hider. You could paint it, or it's clockwise, so you could take it off, put a clockwise suppressor on there or whatnot. Also kind of weird about this is, if you notice up here is a bayonet lug. I have this Lancer Tactical rubber M9 bayonet, and it goes on top, which is, a little weird if you're used to M4 type guns and M16s, so, $9 for safety kills. We also have some rails here. These are not aluminum, these are plastic. And individual serial number, stock. You can adjust it by pulling down here. Another sort of sling loop there. This is also where you put the battery. Pull this out, kind of pull that down and out. You can fit a 9.6 mini style battery in there, the brick style, nunchuck style, or the equivalent LiPo that would fit in there. Mini Tamiya, no fuse. Let's throw this back on there, and you see right here, nice robust connection right there for your release for the stock. Snap it over there. Wires are hidden. So let's show a couple things that are sort of unique to this gun. We have a screwdriver, and you notice here, it looks like the rail continues into this, but let me take the mag out. Kind of pop this up a little bit and force it forward. Slide this up. You'll see it's not wrist. In fact, it gets a little wider here, and there's a little sort of weird connector there. I know on the real ones, this is for a grenade launcher. But on this, I don't know if they're going to do a grenade launcher in the future or whatnot, but, just consider it a built-in angled foregrip. So I'm going to snap that back down on there. Also, you can take the barrel out. It's a quick change barrel. And you pull down on both sides on these little metal things here. And it pops up. And we're going to keep pulling those down, and you can take it out, This is the, I believe it is a 14 or a 16-inch outer barrel. I don't have a ruler right here, so I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but, you know, when you get it, you can measure. There's the hop-up right there. The inner barrel is aluminum. It is a 603 or 604, if I remember correctly. So a nice tight bore. It is brass, which some people don't like brass, but I like brass barrels. I've had very good luck with brass barrels in my airsoft guns, especially when they're a tight bore. As long as you just clean them, and if they get really dirty, you can clean them with a little bit of Brasso, and then it's bam. They're just like new. They don't bend readily. You know, brass, very good material for barrels. And to put it back in, what you want to do, pull the bolt catch down so you can actually see the hop-up nozzle. You know, before I put this in, let's take this off. Let's take the lower receiver out. So I want to fold the stock to the side. And you see you have this little tab here. You kind of push that up and pull out. And you notice you got two wires right here. Positive is on the top, negative on the bottom. You will have to take them off, and you push this button here, and you can pull the receiver out. I'm not going to pull the receiver all the way out because it's a pain in the ass to put back. Well, not super pain in the ass, but enough that I don't want to do it on camera, then, you know, undo it. It would make too long of a video, and you just stick this back on. Also, with this back off, you can get to the quick change spring. It is a Allen screw, and behind the Allen screw is a 6mm Allen key. Not Allen screw, excuse me. It is a slotted screw. Behind that is a 6mm Allen. You push in, twist with a 6mm Allen. You can take out the spring, change it to whatever FPS you want for your field, and you know, put it back in. Make sure you put that slotted screw back in because that keeps the spring guide from going up and down. If you don't put that in, your spring could possibly jam into your gears, which is horrible. You know, people have wrecked their guns that way, and it's not good. Not a good way to end your game by losing that little spring or getting your gear stuck, spring stuck in your gears. So yeah, it goes back on there, nice and easy. Slide that back over, and also, you know, that hides the wires pretty effectively. So, put the barrel back in. Slide this down. Take your barrel, go back in up here, and you want to pull these back down, these little metal things, and push down, and it should snap back in. I'm not going to push down too hard because this is a glass table below me. Also, something to note, on the top here, let's move this over, down there, there we go. Some of these came with this misadjusted. So you take your Allen screw and kind of go like that. Oops. Springy. And that was a 2mm Allen. And that'll keep it in there nice and tight. Some of these were like wobbly. It didn't affect the accuracy or whatever anymore. It was more cosmetic, but it just made the barrels easier to get in and out, you know, of the gun. Not a big deal. So, let's take a look at the competition line. This is the competition line ARX 160. Competition is the sort of the word that Elite Force uses for their sport line. You know, in G&G there would be a combat machine, and Classic Army would be a sport line. Competition line is the equivalent in Elite Force nomenclature. This one has a 60-day manufacturer's warranty. It also comes with a battery and charger, something you don't get with the Elite, because with the Elite they're assuming you have a fancy battery, a fancy charger. But this will come with a battery and charger to get you going. It's a trickle charger, which are crap, so just throw that away, get a smart charger. It's worth the $30, $20-30 to get a smart charger and not cook your batteries and to charge your batteries much quicker. Notable differences between this and the Elite line. No blowback. The gears, standard ratio, the motor, standard motor, not high torque or high speed or anything. It's just motor. So the rate of fire noticeably less. The spring of this is also lesser as well. Gears are not heat treated, they're just regular sintered steel. It does not blow back. It does lock back to if you want to adjust your hop up with the same sort of setup with the multiple releases. Body is ABS plastic, not as nice as the nylon fiber, doesn't feel as nice, it's creakier. The rails are plastic as well, not aluminum. Has flip-up sights, just like the Proline one. Has a barrel, just yeah, they all have a barrel. The inner barrel on this is aluminum, not brass. Aluminum barrels aren't as good. It's, you know, your standard sort of aluminum tube barrel. It might be good for most things, but when you get on, you want to get a nice tight bore barrel made out of stainless steel or aluminum that's been coated with the Mad Bull barrels, you know, they're coated with the Teflon treatment, or a brass barrel. This is just aluminum, regular anodized aluminum barrel, plastic flash hider, in the style of the ARX 160, but plastic. Stock, you know, same adjustments. Takes the 9.6 just like the other one, but you also notice on the back here has a wire. The other one had a hidden connection. So when you pull this guy up here to access the rear quick release spring change feature, same as the other one. Not having a high torque motor, I wouldn't really put a higher spring in it because it's going to need the higher torque motor to pull that spring. But, you know, if you need to change it up or down, you know, that's where it is, and the wire is not hidden. But in the same token, you know, comes out the same way. Pull the mag out, pull the barrel out. This is actually the CQB barrel, you know, plastic. And push this button here, and it comes out and down. Whoop. It's kind of stiff. Oh, because I need to take that wire off. But you get the idea. You'll need to thread that wire back through out of the rear stock. So that is basically, in a nutshell, the ARX 160 Sport line. The Elite line runs about $100 more. It is much nicer, so if you have the money, you know, I would say go for the Elite line. It just looks nicer, but these guns tend to be pretty durable in their own right, and especially if you're just getting into the sport and maybe you don't know if you like Airsoft. Maybe, you know, you're like, hey, I don't want to spend a ton of money. I want to see if I like Airsoft. You know, this is a good choice. Battery and charger helps you on your way. Also with Stenag mags, if you want to get this gun as a loner, and you have an M4 like everyone does, you know, you can give them a high cap or give them a couple of mid caps, and hey, you know, they can go on their way. Oops. Let's get this in there. I did notice that the mag was a little stiffer. I'm assuming it's because the rate of expansion after you mold a plastic is different between the ABS and the nylon. And bam. So, let's do a chrono on both of these and see what the difference in FPS and rate of fire is between the high-end and the low-end ARX 160. I'm using Elite Force 0.2 gram BBs. This is the elite version of the ARX 160. Had some good consistency there in the mid 380s. Let's put it on full auto. So 1,000 rounds a minute on a 9.6 1600 milliamp battery. This is the competition line ARX 160, also with the 9.6 1600 milliamp battery, the same one used in the other gun, and Elite Force 0.2 gram BBs. Looks like we're still in the 340s, nice and consistent there. About 40 FPS less than the Elite line, which has a stronger spring in it. Let's put this on full auto, see if it matches up. 1,000 rounds a minute, very nice, especially for a competition line. That puts it on par with the Elite line and rate of fire. I was very impressed on the consistency of this gun on the chrono test. For a competition sport line gun, being that consistent is what you want, so you're confident that your shot and your next shot are going to go in the same spot, so you don't have like a big sort of difference of FPS spiking or whatever. And also, 1,000 rounds a minute on a regular sort of Tenergy 9.6 1200 milliamp small type battery that fits in the stock of this thing. It's crazy on a sport line. Most sport lines don't even reach anywhere near that on rate of fire if you allowed full auto at your local field. Really good performance on that. I'm impressed. And really good value for money. 60-day warranty. Elite Force is a solid company. They stand behind their guns. They have great customer support. They got great dealer support. And with the Elite, you get all that and more. A little more FPS. You can downgrade it, upgrade it to whatever your field requires. The other gun at 340, it's going to be allowed pretty much everywhere, most fields. Up here, some of the indoor fields allow 350, and some allow 400, and all the outdoor fields allow 400. So, not really an issue on this. Quick change spring, you can downgrade it if you want. You can upgrade it if you want to, because it has the high torque motor. Very consistent as with the competition. With the barrel in this, it should be more accurate. With the FPS difference, you might get maybe 10 more feet at your max range. But with that better barrel, I'm predicting this will be a really, really accurate gun, a real nice tack driver at range. 1,000 rounds per minute, very solid for a pro line gun. That's normally what they all kind of clock in at. But yeah, nice solid gun. And if you want something like this, or some other awesome airsoft gun that we've also reviewed, or anything else, we do special orders. Stop on by to Master Hobbies. We're at 565 Main Street in Cherry Valley, Massachusetts. Open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, from 11 to 6. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/masterhobbies.